Swear to God, we were cool de la, man. I cool de la. We ain't cool de la? No, we are cool de la.
International, national. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. I'm a deadbeat cousin, I hate family reunions.
So I listened to your guys' conversation. I've heard you talk about Curtis Snow for months and years and I mean, a long time. The way that you talk, and I do not mean to belittle you or your, and it actually kind of was the larger, like, your enamorment, that's not a word I know, but your enamorment with street culture, and then, like, specifically as it relates to Curtis. You talk about Curtis Snow like he is Malcolm X, and we just don't know it yet. And I'm not saying, no, being dead serious. I'm not saying that he isn't. I mean, I don't think he is, but I'm not saying that he isn't. But I'm just like, my thing is, like, I'm trying to understand why, because I'm listening to you talk, and you're like, you should run for president. I'm like, what?
I didn't say he should run for president. I was fucking with him. We were talking about he needs to, what I did say is he should eliminate Trump. So if you making it sound like I'm saying he should run for president in a legitimate way, none of the people, well, Hillary's legit, but a lot of people running for president are not legit on political standards. What I was saying is Curtis is somebody who can appeal to a base demographic in the same way that Trump can. So while he's not a psychopath who's actually trying to take over the world, he has, in my opinion at least, the potential to speak to people on that same level. So he could be somebody who could balance that energy. That's what I was speaking to him about. But I ain't telling him to run for president. I know.
That was a bit of an exaggeration, but, like, that's my point. Like, even what you're saying is ridiculous. Like,
you think so? I mean, let's start with their Twitter name. Real Donald Trump, real Curtis Snow. All right, go ahead.
What?
Damn, the truth does leave people speechless. It's been known to leave people speechless, so we can move on.
No!
But I would like to address first of all, I would like to address your, and I'm sure a lot of other people who really are brave enough to say it to me, but I know you and, my friend for life, basically my brother, Darian, we've both had this conversation about, we'll use the word enamorment, because I like that you just made up a word, but there's no enamorment. I mean, first of all, there's a respect. It's the same type of respect I have for Jay-Z and Larry David. As a filmmaker, listen to me. No, stop.
I just want to say one thing. I want to say one thing, and I will let you continue with that. Okay. Do you realize you just said Larry David, Jay-Z, and Curtis Snow, and you do not see the irony of what you're saying?
Not only did I say it, I've tweeted, I've printed these words and put them out into the world. I believe them wholeheartedly. I've felt this way since 2012, probably. Like, this is nothing I, what I'm saying, question or I'm ashamed of. I'm a writer. You know what I mean? I observe, and I value certain types of writing over others. I guess there's something to me, there's a certain value to me in improvisation. There's a certain value to me in authenticity. And there's a certain value to me in versatility. And those three people, they have that in the levels that I value. So it's not really something to be argued about. Like, somebody could like Ta-Nehisi Coates, I don't know how to say his name properly. Somebody could like, whoever as a writer. But Byron Crawford is a great writer. I respect you if you say that. But at the end of the day, I know what writing is, and observing Curb Your Enthusiasm, observing Jay-Z's catalog, and observing Small on the Bluff, but not just Small on the Bluff, but I've seen Curtis's creative process. I mean, he has those same skills of putting words together, and I admire all three of them in similar ways. But again, I want to touch on the street culture thing, because there's no enamorment with it, but there's also a level of responsibility that I feel I have to stay true to who I am. So I'm not, you know who I am, Calvin Driscoll, 1 second, born in Washington, D.C., raised in New Jersey. You already know, man. But me as a person, the things I've always identified with and been attracted to my entire life, you were around to witness all these awkward stages. I'm not going to, deny or, what would be the word, distance myself even from these things because others don't see them how I do. There are people that understand and see the value of all three of those people and the work that they do. And honestly, you can use your influence all types of ways. You can use your voice all types of ways. I'm less concerned with how people use it than with how well they use it, because I can't tell you what to do with your platform or whatever. So there's things about Snow on the Bluff. There's things about Jay-Z's lyrics, and there's things about the scenarios that Larry David creates that I don't necessarily agree with in every way on a moral standing. But that's not really why I was put here. It's not my job to make a judgment on those things. My job is to bring what I have to the table. And when it can't, and listen, when this is not something where, I pursued Kurt crazy trying to work with him. Anything. I didn't imagine or plan for anything like this to happen. Honestly, his camp reached out to me. I was just excited for the opportunity. But when I met him, I had a lot of other opportunities, a lot of them. And after interacting with him, getting to work with him, seeing our creative chemistry, I still to this day value that more than a lot of the other opportunities I've had because of the things I was just talking about. The versatility, the authenticity, just the skill of expressing yourself. So if there's somebody, I don't really expect people to get them until they meet them. And most of the people I have this conversation with haven't met them. So I'm not really concerned about it. But I've brought a lot of friends to his crib. I've had a lot of long conversations with him and his friends. And, I'm sure of who the dude is, and I'm sure of how it relates to who I am. And I feel like we're going to continue to work. You know what I'm saying? It's not in a huge way. My plans are actually to move forward with a new project after we get this one moving. But for now, there's nobody I'd rather really lend my energy to, because I still have a lot to learn as a writer. And every time I interact with Kurt, there's no ideas, there's no experiences happening that I value much more than a lot of the opportunities that other people might value. And I'm not trying to get too deep with it, but basically what I want to say is really it has nothing to do with street culture, because Larry David isn't from the streets. My only true influence, and my only true influence that's somewhat street is my mother. So, and that's Seattle Street, which is a whole different ballgame. So listen. Yeah, my mother's probably the most street influence I had growing up. So it's not something where it's deep, where I'm obsessed with the streets or anything like that.
I'm not saying the influence. I'm saying what you gravitate towards. So, as an example, I will go to your irrational, again, enamorment with Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson. I enjoyed Allen Iverson just as much as anyone else did.
I don't think you did.
Yes, I did. But
as much as anyone else?
Yeah, probably more than most. But there's a point at which you have to look and realize, as much as anyone else, if not more. So, but here's the thing. There's
as much as me or more, this is what I'm getting at. There's meanings to words, and what you just said doesn't make sense. Because I know you don't appreciate him as much as me or more. And there's a lot of people you probably...
As much as anyone else, like the normal regular population of people who watch the NBA or enjoy and take in sports, if not more than them. So I enjoyed it more than the average normal person.
Right. Okay.
And probably I enjoyed him a lot more than the normal average person.
What's a normal average person?
I don't know, Calvin. We're not getting. We don't need to mince this down to that level right now. We just need to get the actual point. I'm not an Allen Iverson hater. I'm not someone who's against Allen Iverson. That's all I'm trying to establish here.
Okay.
And then that's it. When Allen Iverson's flaws started coming out as a basketball player, like, I still enjoy him as a person. I still respect what he did on the court. But Allen Iverson is from a bygone era. Allen Iverson is nowhere near as great as some people make it out to be. Like, he's a great player. What he did and what he was able to accomplish was amazing. But when people put him in the conversation with the pantheons of the greats, it's like, no. Hold on. He was great for his era, and he will last a while. But it's like comparing him to Isaiah Thomas is not something that you should do.
Wow.
Yes.
Really? Isaiah would disagree with that. But I've heard Isaiah.
In terms, yes, because Isaiah is smart enough to know to be benevolent about that. In terms
What has
of
Isaiah ever been politically correct? For the sake of it.
That's all the time if it don't involve Michael Jordan, John Stockton, or Magic.
If it's not, all right, whatever. All right, I'm not going to argue with you about Isaiah.
But my point is, Allen Iverson's cultural impact was huge, and I cannot dispute that. His cultural impact is still lasting, but his impact on the game and on basketball, not as much as people make it out to be. And that cultural impact has had a place and has a place, but even that is starting to be washed over.
So what are you saying though? What is your point?
My point is, those are the sorts of things and people you gravitate to. The same as Jay-Z, like, and that's street.
Here's my problem.
I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm trying to understand.
Okay,
I'm also trying.
I'd like to address these individuals.
I'm not done.
You're lumping people in.
You can't address things individually if I'm not done.
Go ahead, please. What would B? What's point B?
So then there's that, and then that kind of goes into the idea of, like, if you compare, like, Isaiah Thomas is probably like one of the 30 greatest players in the NBA ever. Iverson's in the top 100. I'm not exactly sure where he falls.
We're not going to have this conversation. This is pointless. It has nothing to do with
No, it's not pointless. It's not
Isaiah's
pointless.
from the street.
It's not pointless. No. There's a difference. Mike Jones was talking about this the other day. Usually when people get rich, they change. They go up in class. So, like, the guys that they have in the NBA, he was talking about why Steph Curry is such a prevailing superstar right now. And Chris Paul and, like, all of these other guys, younger guys. They like Russell Westbrook. They get money. They try to do things differently.
Wait, Russell Westbrook. Wait, hold on. Russell Westbrook.
Listen. They aspire to be different. They get the money, and then, like, Russell Westbrook is like, I'm gonna be into high fashion now because, like, I have money. Like, I want to increase my class.
That's high fashion. That's what that is.
That's what he does. Yes, he spends thousands of dollars on a single outfit to wear it one time and give it away. That's what he does.
That doesn't sound like some street shit.
Because like the point is,
I'm gonna try to raise my class by buying expensive designer clothes,
and also moving into different neighborhoods, living differently. Like,
Allen Iverson lives in the suburbs of New Jersey, where I grew up.
No, but the point is, like, Allen Iverson's still kicking at TGI Fridays.
What the fuck? Whoa. TGI Fridays the street?
No, it's not the street, but Allen Iverson was not trying to change it. Like, Allen Iverson was still showing up to games in, like, jeans and T-shirts and, like, kicking it with a do-rag on his head.
So is it preferable? Is it preferable for Russell Westbrook to be showing up in skinny jeans and halter tops? Is that preferable?
No, it's not preferable, but it shows a change. It shows a different mindset and different mentality in what you're trying to do. So it's like still looks cool.
I don't respect it.
That's fine. It's not about what the look is. Like, you're taking it all about the aesthetic, but it's about the mentality. So
no,
like
if he walks into a certain place dressed like that, they're still going to call him a coon. Like, I don't understand how you thinking him dressing in these designer clothes changes anything. Iverson and them were wearing throwbacks that cost a whole bunch of money.
No,
the amount the clothes cost any of that, like, just not getting
It's not
any
about.
respect.
It's about the mindset that's trying to separate yourself from everybody else in a way that is high-minded and on a higher level. Like, so it's not just showing up and like, oh, I'm about to ball out, like I'm about to buy out the mall. It's like, no, I'm going to go above the mall. I'm going to do different things. I'm going to step my game up.
We're off track. Can I please address?
No, we're not.
Can I please address?
The thing, because the thing that you're misunderstanding is, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with enjoying street culture. I'm not saying that there's. I have an issue.
My issue. Hold on. My issue is even speaking of like street culture in general, as if I have some sort of infatuation with it. I mean, one of the people I just named is a 70-year-old Jewish guy. You know, like there's no difference.
And Bill Murray kicked it with the Wu-Tang. What's your point? Like, I'm not.
That is my point. That you're separating these two things. That like my infatuation with Iverson. First of all, it was started from it had nothing to do culturally. Like, I wasn't even listening to music like that back then. It had to do with the fact that I lived 30 minutes from Philadelphia, was able to go to games at like 8, 9 years old, and that was my team, and that was the best player on my team.
Yes, so, Calvin. And then as you got older, and as you grew into certain things, then it started being about different stuff.
What else?
Then it started about being about like the cultural impact, what he did, who he was, how he dressed.
It's always been. First of all, it's always been. I think you're misunderstanding it. Like, it's always been about basketball. Like, that's where it started. Let's go there. That's where it started. And
it's always been about
entire
basketball.
Listen. The entire career, I wasn't like watching press game conferences or post game press conferences, trying to see, you know, what throwback was being worn or anything, or listening to his album or anything culturally. It was about that was my favorite player, and I don't even enjoy watching basketball in the same way because of it's the way he played the game. Like, it has nothing to do with street culture. And for that to be used as the reason, to me, it's almost like I don't want to call names, but it's like, it's stupid. Like, it's like some Bill O'Reilly level stupid,
Calvin,
where you're refusing to.
What was your primary hairstyle when you were growing up?
Wait. What do you? I'm not even gonna answer that.
How did you dress?
Hold on, Bill. Let me ask you a question, because you were a huge influence for me growing up. So the things that we spoke about, what did we talk about? We talked about rap music, which I think you, Mr. O'Reilly, might define as street culture. We talked about rap music. We talked about basketball, and I think we talked a lot about girls. So I think those are three things that, you know, any respectable, conservative, upper class American might consider jigaboo shit. So I don't see where you're removing even yourself from this. Like, how are you not influenced by these things?
I'm not saying I'm not influenced by them, but I'm also saying that I see more than and above those things. So when hold on, as do I. I'm not saying that you don't. I'm not saying that you don't. I didn't say that you did. I didn't say that that's the only thing that you did. But what I did say is and what I am saying and will not back down from, is there a certain part of you that, like, there is a certain part of you that is drawn to street culture and street things.
Yo, that is so offensive, because I would like so much bullshit if that were the case. Like, there's so many things that, no, it has nothing to do with that. Like, I'm not just into street shit. I don't just sit around and watch First 48 and listen to Gucci and Migos. Those are not things that excite me, and that has nothing to do with my interest in the things that I do like. Just as much as I like Allen Iverson and Curtis Snow, I like Larry David and Malcolm Gladwell and Bill Simmons. And all of these people, to me, are in the same circle of genius. It has nothing to do with where they came from.
You're missing the point of
I'm not missing it. You don't have a point.
You are.
You sound like Bill O'Reilly. You're not rooted in anything.
You're turning me saying, like, hey, Calvin, there are things that you have an irrational connection to that you make out to be great.
What makes it irrational? What makes things irrational? Because, again, like, I don't understand what's irrational about me liking Jay-Z's music. I think you just agree he's a great writer. Me liking Allen Iverson's game, you just tried to say you like him as much as anybody, although I don't think that's true. Just because I know how words, like the definitions of words, I just don't think that's true. And then thirdly, like, all of this,
because I'm Bill O'Reilly now.
Hold on. Yeah, because you up here talking crazy and, in my opinion, like, disparaging yourself in a way. Like, these are things you're influenced by as well. You're influenced by Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're buying Jordans, like, what is that? What are Jordans?
Jordans are shoes, and I get it. Like, that's why I'm saying you're not missing my point. And I'm not trying to make it. Okay, you did.
I've had one pair of J's, one pair of real J's. I remember in middle school, the Chinese sites. I ordered some
13.
18. No, not 13. Oh yeah, those 13s too. Those red
you had the fake 13s, and I'm Calvin.
I'm talking about.
Don't look like my 13s.
Here's the thing. You don't know how excited I was when I found that Chinese site. I think I was in like 6th grade, and I went a little ham until I realized they weren't real. But anyway, the only real Jordans I ever owned were some Grape 5s, which are just dope shoes, like, period. But I'm not giving Michael Jordan money. If we're going to talk about people, like, and again, you even give the example of letting money change you. Like, I really don't have much respect for Michael Jordan in the way that, I don't have, it's not that I lack respect for him either. It's just, like, I don't know him as a person. So I can't even talk about how money has changed him. But just on the simple fact of how he's handled his business with Jordan and his clear level of how ruthless of a capitalist he's willing to be. How is that to be admired over, say, the decision of Allen Iverson, or even somebody like we could throw Ron Artest into it if you really want to, if you really want to get street, because he's somebody who actually perpetuates street shit. Like Allen Iverson, his entire career, he wasn't up there doing anything crazy. It's just how he looked and how he spoke. He wasn't acting out. He wasn't fighting. He wasn't doing anything crazy. It was his style of play and appearance.
Related to basketball, no, he was not. But Allen Iverson had his share of troubles. Allen Iverson's had his issues. I don't judge him for that.
Hold on. He's had his share of issues. That was some Bill O'Reilly shit. Would you like to go back and we talk about these issues and speak about his level of involvement in them? Because a lot of them were silly, and I remember us having conversations about that when I was younger.
What do you mean they were silly?
Well, first of all, we can't remove somebody from their reality. So a lot of the issues that Iverson had that people used to make him out as a troublemaker was trivial shit.
Hold on, time out. I'm not saying he's a troublemaker. I'm saying he had issues. There's not, like, I think that's well documented.
He had issues.
There's an entire book about the things about his life and his lifestyle and the things that led to his downfall, like, outside of basketball. There's not, like, I'm not saying anything controversial. Like, and that happens to a lot of people. Like, I don't understand why you're, like, that's what I mean. Like, why are you arguing points that I'm not making?
I'm not saying issues, because you said his issues as if Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan didn't have off the court issues.
I didn't say they didn't.
What I'm saying is, like, so all of this is irrelevant then. Like, if everyone has issues, why are we talking about his issues? And again, if you're still not even proving to me where my infatuation with street shit comes in. Like, I don't. It doesn't connect to me.
No, because at this point, like, there really isn't much. There isn't much point in finishing this conversation. Like, no, there honestly isn't. B, it goes to it goes back to what I was saying about Drake. So, like, if Drake is there's a way to discuss things with people's consent or with respect to that other person being involved in the conversation. And at this point, like, I don't want to put your business out there like that. I don't want to go too deep into personal conversations between the two of us and how I interpreted them. Like, even like both growing up and as of late, like, or things that have happened to you or me or whatever. Like, I just don't.
I would like to be that person. I think that's what I want. That's what I thought this conversation was.
No.
I'm not grasping what you're getting at.
I don't think it needs to be that personal on the podcast level. Like, I just don't. Like, and to me, like, I respect that. Well, let's put it like this. I would hope that you would respect that line, and respect those lines in the same way that, like, I would respect if you wanted to talk about something, like, you know, off the air or at, you know, in between as family members, you know, like, because I think it goes back to how I was raised, at least, and that comes with having our grandmother around all the time, very, very constantly, like, instilling and rapping me over the head with about a lot of things. And in some ways, like, I think a lot of it is very archaic, and it kind of goes into, like, the thing, or not archaic, but it's just a different generation, which on some levels I very much do appreciate, because I think I have a different level of respect for people and for things that I would not have if I would have grown up, you know, like, even grown up compared to, like, the way that you did, where, like, you saw everyone in the summer, but, like, I saw everyone all the time. So a lot of the things about, like, hey, you know, you act a certain way. If you have a problem with someone or you want to talk about business, you don't talk about business in front of other people. You don't do this. You don't do that. Like, you handle your business, but you handle it, like, in a way that's respectful of everyone that's involved. And I think that's how we should handle things.
Well, I agree with that. I respect that. I would like to add, though, I mean, there's really the life I've lived, there's no shame you're about to bring out of me. So I respect that line on one hand. I would like you to elaborate.
It's not about shame. But, no, the thing is, it's not about shame. It's like, let's say, the best way I could describe it is, there was a situation that happened, and it's not even really that bad. It's actually,
here we go. This is what we need. What is it?
No. I don't need to say what it is. But, like, where I told a couple of our cousins about something that happened with you in a escapade that you had, and you were very upset about it. You're like, I don't want you telling people about that. I don't want to talk, like. And it wasn't
wait. Now I want to know. I don't even know what you're talking about now.
No, we'll talk about it off there. We'll talk about it off there.
It's cool. I'm editing this.
No,
it's not going to go on. But I just want to know now.
You're not. No. Well, I'll tell you later. It wasn't even that bad, and that's what I mean. Like, and you were really, really hot about it.
How old was I, Wesley?
How old are you now?
I'm 24.
You're 24, so you were 18.
Huh? Nah, I don't know what you're talking about, and I require to know. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I need you to tell me. I'll tell you. I promise I'll tell you. And it's like, and you were really salty about it. You were hot. You're like, I can't believe you told Antoine and Tyrell that. And you were mad. You were really, really mad. Our cousins Antoine and Tyrell. They live in Atlanta. What happened, Wesley?
I'll tell you later, because it's like, and you were really, really mad about it. And
I'm getting upset now because you will not say it. There is nothing you're going to say that doesn't need to be aired or can't be said, even if it needs to not get aired. Just tell me what you're talking about.
No, actually, at this point now, it kind of just illustrates the point of what I'm trying to say. Like, there's just some things, like, you just keep the business together, and, you know, people...
But you clearly already spoke of the business. If I was already mad about it, I'm over it. Now I would just like to know what you're talking about, because now I'm just confused. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about at all.
Okay, well...
They don't know.
I swear to God, we were cool they lie, man. I cool they lie. We ain't cool they lie. No, we are cool they lie.
International.